Your thoughts create your world. This isn't just a spiritual metaphor. Modern quantum physics is beginning to suggest scientific clues that explain this very mechanism. Hello, everyone. I'm Marilo. Today, based on Dawson Church's book, Mind to Matter, I want to explore the moment when thoughts turn into matter. Dr. Dawson Church is an award-winning science writer who has edited or authored over 200 books. He also founded the National Institute for Integrative Healthcare to study and implement evidence-based psychological and medical treatments for PTSD, anxiety, and depression. Matter is mostly empty space. Now, we are surrounded by matter, and our bodies are made of matter. But what happens if we zoom in incredibly close? Currently, there is a field of study called quantum physics that explores the microscopic world. As research has progressed, we've come to recognize that matter is not made of solid particles, but is actually patterns of energy emerging when a field-filling space vibrates like a wave. The desk in front of you, your smartphone, your body, they look solid. We assume they are packed with particles, which is why our hands don't pass through them. However, when magnified to the level of quantum physics, there is only empty space. Atoms consist of a nucleus and electrons, but 99.99999% of an atom is empty. Imagine if an atom were expanded to the size of a baseball stadium. The nucleus in the center would be just the size of a marble on the pitcher's mound. The electrons would be like tiny grains of sand flying around the grandstands. So, what exists in this huge space between the mound and the stands? Nothing. It is a void. Then why can we touch the phone? Imagine an electric fan. When the blades are stopped, there are gaps, and you can put your finger through. But when it's spinning at high speed, you can't. It feels solid, like a board, and your finger bounces off. Atoms are the same. Because electrons, which are particles, are flying around that empty space at incredible speeds, they behave as if there is a solid shell or barrier. In other words, what we feel as solid matter is not the particles themselves, but the wall created by movement. Specifically, the electron field in your hand's atoms and the electron field in the desk's atoms are repelling each other because they are both negative charges. The hardness you feel is actually the repulsive force of energy. The observer effect. I mentioned that 99% is empty, but that space is filled with undefined energy waves. Here is the strangest experiment in quantum mechanics, the Double-Slit Experiment, where the act of looking changes the result. In this experiment, tiny particles like electrons are fired through a setup called the double slit. When we don't observe them, they behave like a wave and create an interference pattern. However, the moment we use a detector to measure which slit they pass through, the particles instantly lose their wave properties and behave as mere particles, leaving only two distinct bands. This shows that observation collapses the particle's wave of possibilities, forcing it to adopt a fixed particle reality. When not being watched, particles exist as waves. They are in a vague state, like using a cloning technique, existing here and there simultaneously. But the moment they are observed, that wave state collapses and they materialize in one spot. It's exactly like the game red light, green light. They were moving freely, but the moment they are seen, freeze. They solidify into reality in one place. This is called the observer effect. Many researchers are beginning to pay attention to this strange phenomenon as the key to how thoughts affect reality. There are a variety of frequencies. Dr. Church digs even deeper into when thoughts turn into matter. Please look at this chart. From ultra-low frequencies to the light we see and even X-rays, everything has a frequency that differs by digits, but the essence is the same. They are all waves. 1 hertz means the wave undulates once per second. Imagine a rope. If you make a wave slowly once a second, that's 1 hertz. If you shake it vigorously 10 times a second, that's 10 hertz. The more intense and busy the movement of the particles, the higher the frequency. The more relaxed, the lower the frequency. Electricity, microwaves, smartphone signals, visible light, X-rays, they look completely different, but they are all just energy waves with different frequencies. And the world visible to our eyes is only 0.0035% of these frequencies. In other words, everything in this world, visible and invisible, is vibrating at its own unique frequency. Air, matter, light, sound, and your body. Everything is singing its own unique song. And your emotions and thoughts also have waves. We can measure this with brainwave sensors. The weak electrical signals coming from our brains, our thoughts, are vibrating at a specific rhythm. We are walking broadcast stations, constantly transmitting specific radio waves based on our mood. This is the brainwaves measured by the brainwave sensor called EEG device. Beta waves, awake, focused, problem-solving. But too high, and it becomes stress or anxiety. Alpha waves, relaxed, like when taking a bath. The mind and body are resting. Theta waves, just before falling asleep, deep meditation or daydreaming. Delta waves, deep, unconscious sleep. Gamma waves, linked to peak concentration, learning, and insight, the state commonly referred to as the zone. So, what kind of frequency are you broadcasting right now? Think about it. Modern life often keeps us stuck in high beta waves, constant stress, irritation, and anxiety. This isn't just bad for your health, it creates noise in your broadcast. Frequencies resonate and shape the world around you. Frequencies are waves, and waves spread. This phenomenon happens in human relationships too. Have you ever experienced someone entering a room looking very irritated, making the air feel heavy and making everyone else tense? That's because that person became a powerful transmitter of anger, forcing everyone around them to synchronize with their frequency. The opposite is also true. When you are with someone full of joy or gratitude, your frequency naturally syncs to theirs. Just by being there, you are tuning the environment around you. The frequency at which you vibrate doesn't just create your own life. It participates in the world around you. Therefore, tuning your own frequency is the greatest contribution you can make to the world.
Morning drowsy meditation.
So, Dawson Church suggests meditating first thing in the morning, because when you are drowsy, your brain is in theta waves. That means your brain is in a meditative state. This is the sweet spot where what you imagine is super likely to become reality later on. After you wake up, don't open your eyes and don't focus on bad or negative problem around you. Instead, picture amazing things happening, and don't just think, I hope this happens. You have to believe this is definitely happening. Visualize it like it's already real. If deep down you're thinking, no way, that's impossible, it won't work. In the end of the drowsy meditation, don't forget to say thanks to everything that makes up your world. Animals, plants, minerals, your own cells, and even the tiny atoms and particles. Dr. Church says that if you start your day in this good state every day for a month, your daily life will begin to change. You might think, can reality change that easily? But given what we know about quantum physics, maybe it's not so impossible after all. If you try this for a month and experience a change in your reality, please let me know in the comments. I'd be happy if you could find this video interesting. Please subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you for watching until the very end. I'll see you next time.